Alright, that's... Okay, money, trophy, cannibalism, black magic, specimens solely for the purpose of study. Well, for this motive, it would have been easy to quickly remove something from the Buck's Roll victim Polynotch. Supply of human organ trafficking. Cannibalism to supply human organ trafficking? No. Trophy, money...
Money, quite simply.
Even if this motive seems incongruous, we're in no position to deny or affirm it until we know whether a market for human organs exists.
Okay. For this motive, it would have been easy to quickly remove something from Buck's Row victim Polymarch's trophy, yeah.
A desire for some sort of morbid trophy.
I'd be inclined to dismiss this motive. If this were the case, why would nothing have been removed from the Buck's Row victim?
Yeah. Dementia can push man to commit... Okay. Dementia can put incredible vile acts.
Holmes, what if it was cannibalism?
Even if the idea is unbearable, we can't ignore it as a possibility.
Alright, so check that. And medical students for study?
Perhaps it was intended as a study specimen.
I have little faith in that theory. Hardly anything was taken from the Buck's Row victim.
Black magic, baby! Gotta go with black magic!
Watson, this line of investigation is far too vague. We don't have a single clue in support of such a motive. We can eliminate this hypothesis. Elementary.
Okay, so he doesn't like the black magic idea, though I still stick firmly to it.
From the second victim is that they implied that the killer could have carried out the same thing on the Buck's Row victim, yet didn't. This brings us to a terrible conclusion. Our killer has evolved in the space of only a few days, and if that's the case, had he already struck before the first murder to which we attribute them? And if the killer strikes again, what atrocity awaits his next victim?
We have to stop him, Holmes.
After him!
Our best. This recent business of jars filled with formalin and of the American doctor might be a lead.
Duh!
Inquire among medical circles to ascertain if there is a black market for human organs. The chances are slim, but this must be pursued.
Very well. What about you, Holmes?
I will send word to Aberline regarding our recent conclusions. I should also like to become a gas man and pay a visit to Bluto at the Wasp's Nest.
Bring your spinach!
Understood, Holmes. I think one of my old university colleagues who works at the London hospital will be able to help me. I shall write him a note at once. He should be able to see me during the day. Afterwards, shall we meet here?
Yes, Watson. See you later, and good luck.
Alright, let's go.
I must get to the London hospital.
Oh, I gotta play him.
Colleague works.
You control Dr. Watson. Alright, fine. Map. London Hospital.
The London Hospital, quick. My colleague agreed to meet me here in one of the London Hospital rooms reserved for students.
Hello?
Ah, John, you're there already.
His name's Watson, you idiot.
Tell me, you don't seem to
Nobody
be
calls him
shape.
John.
Is it possible that your recent marriage is making you this morose?
Ah, you know me well, Andrew. No, it's a strange and terrible affair that concerns me. Have you read my note?
Get my message?
Yes, I admit that I was surprised. It just so happens that I, too, was asking questions about our morgue.
What do you know?
What do you think? Have you heard of any organ trafficking within?
No, John. No doubt there exists some exchange between colleagues. Not quite legal, of course, but nothing that can qualify as trafficking. Since the Anatomy Act of 1832, which permitted the use of unclaimed corpses for science, the black market trade was definitely halted. There are sufficient subjects available for all practitioners and students. This I can confirm.
Okay, so enough anonymous John Does and Jane Does to supply the need.
Out of the question. Then what is troubling you with the morgue?
You are talking about trafficking organs, but I suspect there is trade in whole bodies.
Huh?
What do you mean to say? Whole bodies are disappearing?
Nobody there?
It's confidential, but I know of your discretion and your friendship with the famous Sherlock Holmes. I can tell you that a few corpses have recently disappeared from the hospital morgue. Cadavers that were intended for dissection. That is to say, not unclaimed, poor, unknown people.
What gender were
If
they?
a single corpse had disappeared, it might have been a bad joke. There are many students who pass through here. It's even a meeting spot. For the majority, they are here to work. A few come here in secret to practice. It also happens that instruments or organs go missing. Nothing alarming, but so many corpses. It's very troubling.
What gender were they?
But the hospital doctors aren't doing anything?
No. That is to say, they would prefer not to call the police at this point. An investigation would no doubt result in the suspension of authorizations for the use of unclaimed corpses.
Ugh.
Do you think that you could intercede on our behalf with Sherlock Holmes to clear up this situation?
Which corpses are missing? What
Corpses are
gender?
missing?
I don't know exactly, but I can make...
How can
a
you know if they're not there if you don't
list
know who to
if
look
you want
for?
Wait here for a few minutes. Feel free to look around the room while you wait. It'll bring back memories.
Thank you, Andrew.
Okay, so time to look around here. Oh, that looks fun. Oh! That's interesting art, let's say. Okay, so items to interact with. Let's go. Or book.
An encyclopedia of anatomy. A page on the human heart is dog-eared. Let's see.
Oh, come on, I just took a break from studying. Then cava superior, ultra aorta, blah 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 blah. I just took a break from studying to do
It's
this.
here that students come to carry out their experiments. It's here that students come to carry out their
Yeah.
experiment.
A set of scalpels. And pliers.
This surgical instrument resembles a screwdriver. How amusing. It might come in handy. I will return it later.
Sure you will.
These wheeled trolleys are very handy for laying out surgical instruments. This rag is full of grease. It certainly wasn't used for a dissection. Was someone doing some mechanical work here?
Someone's building a woman!
Students come to carry out their experiments. This wheel won't roll despite all of the added grease. Curious, as Holmes would say.
Interesting.
The last lesson must have been about the human heart. And for a class of beginners, I expect, as this diagram is rather rudimentary.
Core. Well, let's see if we can get this moving.
A message. I'll be... Why the devil was it hidden here?
Ethan level 7 years from John of Sarah of Jacob of heavy hospitalized May North. Treated within the mercy of Hemlock grave condition advanced stages. Possibly immediate subjects watch carefully. Venta cava superior cava aorta. The management is in the heart. Use this board and erase afterward. Oh, the magnet is in the heart. Use this board and erase it afterward. Possibly an imminent subject. Watch carefully.
An old prescription. Poor child, so young, yet terminally ill. Strange, someone scrawled something. Part of it is in Latin. These are instructions, it would seem.
Curiouser and curiouser.
There is a heart in this jar. Based on its colouring, it hasn't been there long. And it looks like the drawing on the board. This jar contains 2 lids with combination locks.
Okay, so this puzzle actually took me an embarrassingly long amount of time to solve, and not because it was hard. On the contrary, this is actually an amazingly simple puzzle. So much so, in fact, that I kept overthinking it for a good 5 minutes. But, like I said, it's really very, very easy. You only need 2 pieces of information to solve this puzzle. One is the note we found in the leg of the table, and the other is the cross-section of the heart that we found in the medical book. And the game is actually good enough to make sure that you have those pieces of information right in front of you before you start. The blackboard drawing is already there, as you can see, and that's a pretty good hint to go into your notes and select the other 2 pieces of information that you found in here, so that everything you need to solve the puzzle is right in front of you. The note lists 4 parts of the heart and colored arrows which correspond to the color of the 2 dials. If you look at the diagram and the drawing, you can match up the pieces of the heart with the corresponding number, and set the dials to those numbers to open the jar, which turns out to be blue 1, red 5 for the first lock, and then blue 8, red 2 for the second lock. The top 2 parts of the heart are the first lock, and the bottom 2 are the second. The embarrassing part is that I completely overthought this puzzle, and rather than just turning the dials to the numbers, I spent the better part of 5 minutes trying to figure out the starting point for each dial, so I could turn them in the direction the arrow on the note indicated. Once, of course, I finally settled down and finished the first lock, I revealed a slip of paper with the number 6 on it. And that just threw me right into a panic attack. I started adding 6 to the numbers, multiplying by 6, using 6 as the starting point, moving the dials in the directions the arrows were indicating. It was just a complete mess, and eventually I caved in and looked at the walkthrough and saw that the 6 actually has nothing at all to do with this puzzle. It's actually a hint for where to find the next one. But that time I worked myself into such a tizzy of trying to apply Nemesis logic to this game that I was just worn out. So, yeah, this puzzle is actually pretty easy and fun, but I guess I'm still suffering from the trauma of the last few Frogwares games because I'm still finding this really hard to just relax and enjoy them.
Incredible! Someone has hidden a magnet in this heart. But to what end?
Okay. So now what? Documents. I don't see anything new to interact with. I just got this magnet and I'm not sure. Maybe go see the doc now?
I have no reason to go.
No, I don't have any reason to go that way. What? Oh, okay.
Incredible! There is a magnet with a hook behind this pane of glass. I am in need of something.
The magnet. Okay, now we're in Nemesis territory. What the fuck? What in the... Oh, I get it. If I touch the sides, the magnets already spring back for no discernible reason. Okay. Alright. Just a quick question, though. Why would you hide a magnet in a human heart in order to get out another magnet, which apparently works by some kind of strange... Okay, I have no idea how the fuck this magnet is affecting the other magnet like this. This makes no sense in any sort of science that I know. I mean, if I were controlling the magnet and actually pulling it, you know, under the glass, that would make sense, but this?
There,
Gimme.
all done. Holmes couldn't have done better himself.
Right?
Oh, I can make out something inside, but how to get it out? I will need a hook.
What in the devil am I doing?
I found it. A coded message. I do believe I will need Holmes.
Well, it's good to know Frogwares hasn't lost their touch after all.
Here is the list, John. The missing corpses are those of a woman, 40 years old, beginning of August, another, 55 years old, 2 weeks ago, and recently, a young woman. These corpses had nothing in common except that they didn't have any apparent lesions.
All of this is very troubling.
All women.
Well, I think that I have
Someone's
all of the
building a
information
woman.
possible, and I promise that I will do what I can to clear up this business. I must leave you, my friend, and...
In the name of our friendship, please don't cause a stare.
To be sure.
Don't cause a
Thanks
stare?
again,
Why did he suddenly go French?
I who must thank you, John. Don't forget to keep me up to date and say hello to your charming wife for me.
Count on
I'll say
me,
hello to
Andrew.
Holmes. I mean my wife.